Hello everyone, happy Wednesday. Come on in and join me for another Inspire Side Chat. Today we have with us Jill Henson, a professional Pilates and also founder of the Core Compassion Project. And with her also, today actually we have two guests. And our second guest is Tanja Smith, a woman that we admire so much and that have worked with Jill. And then we will discussing about all the process that they went through, how the Core Compassion Project has helped to recover from breast cancer. And I believe, I can see them all was on. So my name is Paola Shah. I am the founder and CEO of Talkheads. Talkheads are high performance grip socks that enhance the foot-brain connection and give you confidence to step in any barefoot workout, no matter what you're going through. And remember, our mission is to elevate you through your feet. And I got so excited here to have guests, and this is the first time that I'm doing like 3 guests at once. Hi, Jill. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Hello.
Very well.
Hello.
Hi, Tanja. How are you?
Hello. Fine. How are you?
Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Yes, ma'am. That's fine.
As I read it, I think of the Spanish pronunciation, like Tonja, but there is like, no, maybe it's Tanja. Okay, good. Perfect. First of all, thank you so much for being with us here today. And then before we start, I just want to check that we can hear each other properly. Jill, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Perfect.
Great.
Tanja, can you hear me and us and you?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Okay.
All good.
We're all good and set to go. So perfect. I like to always let our guests to introduce themselves because I don't want to miss anything important. And then so Jill, let's start with you. Who is Jill today?
So my name is Jill Henson. I am a mom. I have 3 kids and a wife, and I am a Pilates teacher. I own a small Pilates studio in Indian Trail, North Carolina, right next to Charlotte. And I am the founder and executive director of Core Compassion Project. And we are a 501c3 nonprofit that offers post-rehab Pilates scholarships to women with breast cancer. And in addition to that, we now have a fitness bra program and a lymphedema sleeve program. So we're expanding a little bit.
Wow, amazing. Yeah. We're going to talk a bit more about that
sure.
in a second. And then Tanja, can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Tanja Smith. I'm also a mom of 3 grown sons. I have a husband. I've been married for 23 years. I used to be, before I got sick, I was a certified medical assistant for several years. Let's see, what else? I am also a board member for Core Compassion Project. I am actually the recipient person. And pretty much, I've been doing Pilates off and on and just kind of living life.
Beautiful. And then, so Jill, just for us, I'm going to go back a bit on time for us to understand where your passion for Pilates come. So when did you find Pilates? How did you start teaching Pilates?
So I studied dance my whole life. And when I was in college, I danced, and then I started to have kids, and I was struggling finding time to get to a studio. So I found Windsor Pilates DVDs after the birth of my second child, and I started doing Pilates mat work from home. And that's how I was originally introduced to it. So for my first few years, I was working on Mari Windsor's DVDs and learning the mat repertoire that way. So that's really how I found it. And at that time, I was working for my husband's family business. It was 2008. fast forward to 2008, the economy had tanked, and I thought, I'm going to go get certified to teach Pilates mat. And I had practiced it all these years. I had never been on the equipment, but I decided I was going to go and get certified to teach, just to make a little extra money and have something to do with my time. And so that's how I wound up inside a Pilates studio and realized there was a whole world that I never knew. So that's really, how my adventure got started.
Wow. And then I would say, thanks, universe, that it got started, because now you are creating so much impact. So now let's talk about, we go a bit now, fast forward to the moment that you decided to invest your time on patients with breast cancer and basically found the Core Compassion Project. So could you please tell us a bit of what was the turning point there? What took you to make that decision?
So I was a fairly new teacher. I had been through the certification process through Stop Pilates, and I was fully certified. I decided pretty quickly to open up my own studio. And so I was teaching maybe a year, and someone came to me who had been diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had had a lumpectomy, and she needed help getting stronger. And she had years before, she had done Pilates, and it made a difference. So she found my studio and she wanted to get started, and I was honestly just a little bit lost. And so I went through the Pink Ribbon program, which is another Pilates based recovery program for breast cancer. And I went through that program. And the very next week, I came back into my studio telling my very first client, who was another client, about the program. And I'll never, ever forget this. I remember exactly where we were. She looked at me and she said, I'm really glad that you went through this training, because Friday I was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I still get chills talking about it. And honestly, that's just how it started. And, I'd had this weekend of training, and, which wasn't a lot. I learned some things by mistake. I learned some things by studying, learning from other people. And then a year to a year and a half later, the nonprofit was born. And I cannot even tell you, it's not like I had this big plan. It was such a heart project. And I can remember meeting with my accountant and saying, I want to start a nonprofit. And he looked at me and he's like, are you sure about that? And, for me, I didn't even think twice about it. Now, I did on down the road when I realized how much work it actually was. But I'm so glad I didn't know that at the time, because it was just like, luckily these women could afford to do Pilates, but how many, because of medical bills, can't? And so I just really felt led to put it out there. And then we decided to have this tiny little fundraiser to help sponsor a few people, which then led to this really big event, and it all just kind of happened.
And it happened. Yeah,
it did.
How long ago was that?
So we're almost at 10 years now. So it was back, our nonprofit was filed in 2012, but we were seeing women before that.
Wow. So how many women have you impacted so far?
Well, so we're hitting close to the 100 mark. And each recipient that comes through Core Compassion Project, because we're expanding into other studios. So now it's not just my studio, but the majority right now does come through my studio. So we're hitting close to 100 women, and that each woman gets 10 private sessions completely free. So you're looking at a lot of Pilates,
Yeah. So. 1,000 sessions there, right? Yeah, exactly. Wow. And then Tanja, now tell us a bit of your story. You were 40 years old, you were healthy, you were working, and then what happened?
I actually was a medical assistant at the time, and I didn't have any kind of symptoms or anything. And I remember when I initially got sick, I was at work. They said I was at work and had worked up 2 patients. And I came around the corner and my left side was drooped and my face. I was dragging my arm and my leg. So they tried to take my blood pressure. It was too high to read. So they sent me to they sent me to the hospital. That actually my supervisor drove me. And once we got there, it's like this whirlwind of things happened. So 2 days later, I woke up and they said, "Oh, you had a stroke and also seizures, and you had a blood clot flash through your brain on the right side. So your left side was weak from that." So I got better, and they told me, well, my medical career was over, so I couldn't be a medical assistant anymore. So I just kind of volunteered around town. It was just going really well. And then all of a sudden, I had a unexpected kidney stone to block my left kidney, which in turn poisoned my system, which caused me to be septic. And the medication that they gave me only went to my vital organs and did not go out to my extremities. So they had to cut off my feet and ankles on both legs and the fingertips on my fingers, but they were able to save my thumbs. And once that happened, I had to learn with the prosthetics and go through the training and different things like that. And then once that happened, it wasn't even 2 years later. I had my normal mammogram, and I went to the hospital. They said, "Oh well, you won't know anything for about a week." Then 2 days later, they said, "We're going to send you for a diagnostic." Then 2 days later, they sent me to this Charlotte to have a stereotactic mammogram done. And the doctor said, "Well, 2 days later, we'll let you know something in a week." 2 days later, they called, and I was on my way home, and me and my husband was together, and they said, "Well, we're sorry to tell you, but you have breast cancer in your right breast." So I was not devastated. I was like, okay. I just kind of held my breath. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead on and see what's going to happen. And I had the kind that spread and the kind that did not spread. So they had to remove my right breast and 2 lymph nodes. And, I had a reconstruction done and just kind of, just took it in stride. I never thought, my children were, they didn't know what to do. My middle son he was really upset. And he said, "I'm so mad." I said, "Well, if you could find me somebody to punch, I will punch him for you. I would go ahead and just beat him up, because he didn't want to understand, why does it keep happening to my mama? Why my mama?" But, I just took it in stride and said, you know what, it's going to be whatever. And that's kind of how I live, I just kind of take it in stride. And, I wasn't really exercising a whole lot, but I went to had lymphedema specialist in Monroe, and I was doing exercises, and she said, "Hey," "you may qualify for this program I know about." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, whatever it is, I'll do it." I didn't know exactly what it was, but I said, "Okay." And so she said, "It's Pilates." I never knew what Pilates were. And then I kind of just got curious and looked up what Pilates were. And I said, "Oh, okay, I can do that." So the funny thing was, when my first day of coming, I walked up the steps and I walk in this room, and there, I'm thinking I got tennis shoes on, I'm ready, thinking, and then I get in there and they're like, "Okay, they have on socks." I'm kind of like, okay, I'm a bit overdressed, but they were able to accommodate. We had to make makeshift things for me to work. We just we had trial and error for a little bit. They had to see exactly what I could do. And I'm just the kind of person that I was not going to be defeated. And we got in there and we worked with whatever we worked with, the reformer, the barrel. We just did equipment. So pretty much that's pretty much how everything has been. So, but the rest is history. I learned how to do what I could do, and the stairs were a killer, but hey, by the time I got there, I was ready. So That's my warm-up exercise, climbing the stairs. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much how it went, though.
Wow, Tanja. Well,
Hmm.
I thank you so much for sharing your story, and definitely you are such an inspiration. And also it's because after everything that you go through, like there is such a beautiful smile, and then I guess that's the way to approach life, right? Like whatever it brings to us, it's just
Hmm.
take it and keep moving forward. And then so
Hmm.
um what has been um the most or the biggest impact that you have seen attending the program, the Core Compassion Project?
The biggest impact is that, when you go in there, the ladies, when they work out, sometimes, they have this, it's not that you don't want to do it, but you have this attitude where I'm just tired. I don't think I can go anymore. And then when you look over and see somebody like me being in their shoes, it's like, you know what? If she can do it, then I'm going to do it. And it was the same way, when I had to go to regular physical therapy, people would be like, oh, she's riding on a bike. Well, if she can ride a bike, I can too. So pretty much that's kind of like, I've even had a lady who was in class one time with us approached me after class and said, I was over there trying to complain about something. And I see that lady working with you and you doing your exercise. And she said, I just got to hug you. And she hugged me because, and I told her, I said, well, it's just a mind thing. If your mind, you come in here with your mindset on not doing anything, you're not going to do anything. But if you put your mind to doing something, you can actually do it when you try to do it. But that's the biggest impact.
And then Jill, how has the program evolved? Because I imagine from your very first client to now, it has been an amazing learning curve. So, what
Yes.
has been your, if you can say, like top 2, 3 kind of learning lessons here? Like,
Oh, okay. So Tanja is a perfect example that I should have an attitude that is open-minded toward all bodies, because that's probably the biggest lesson that I learned when she was first referred to us by her lymphedema specialist. I've said this before, so you may have heard this. I was actually really nervous to work with her. And not that I did not want to, I wasn't sure I knew how. I wasn't sure that she could do it. And so I was a little bit nervous when our board of directors, reviewed her application and accepted her application that, was I even going to be able to handle this? And I was not the first teacher to work with her initially. But I was there most of the time. And Tanja really taught me that, well, I just say she has forever changed the way I teach, because I realized like you can modify, you can change things around and make it work. And what is going to work for one person, it might not work for the next person. But I remember like thinking that first session, I was so nervous. We laugh about it now because she's like my sister. But I was so nervous to meet her, because I thought there's going to be this feeble woman who is like, are we going to have to lift her? Like, what are we going to be dealing with? And then I walk in the studio and she's like standing there, like, let's go. And I'm thinking to myself, like, who are you? And it was just, so eye-opening to me. I would say that's probably the biggest. Every story is different. Every person that has come through our program teaches all of us something, and attitude is everything. And, I'm just not sure if I were in Tanja's shoes, I would be that positive. And so she's taught me to really look at life, in a way that, I want to live it to the fullest. So that would be one thing. As far as the project goes, we have evolved. I wrote a book that is an at-home fitness program, because we were struggling with letting our recipients go at the end of 10 sessions. And at one point I was going back to my board of directors and saying, can I have 10 more sessions? I just need 10 more sessions. And, the money only goes so far. So I spent 2 years writing a book called the Jill Henson Method for Breast Cancer. And so now every recipient will get that book. And if somebody comes to our project in a location where we don't have anyone that is trained there to teach them, then we will mail them this book. So they get something. And so, with that said, now we have a teacher training program that I teach. And this is where we're trying to now expand into other states. And so it's a weekend, and it's excellent information that teaches you all about breast cancer and how to work with someone who has breast cancer. Because the biggest shock to me as a teacher was that not one surgery is the same. Someone like what Tanja went through, and being an amputee, totally aside, we're focused just on breast cancer, is totally different than the 75 other women. So it's really you need to know all about the different surgeries. Some people choose not to have reconstruction, some do. How does that affect the surrounding muscles? How about like if they need a lymphedema sleeve? All of those things, it's really, really important. And so I try to share some of the lessons that I learned the hard way. And then the most exciting news of this year is that we just expanded our services. So now we are offering a fitness bra program, and you do not have to be a recipient. So if someone has not done Pilates with, or is not going through the program with Pilates through Core Compassion Project, they can still go to our website. If they are a pre-vivor, a breast cancer survivor going through breast cancer, it is a simple process. They can submit a 5-minute application and they get a free fitness bra. And in addition to that, we are also offering lymphedema sleeves. All of that is on our website at corecompassionproject.org.
Wow. That's amazing. And then, so I would like to understand, and probably our viewers as well, how can Pilates benefit in the recovery from breast cancer, or during the process of, the entire process? Because sometimes breast cancer is almost endless.
Well, for many people it's a season in life and you move on from that. But when you have what I love about what we have to offer is, even if you don't know how to work with somebody, if you've not been through my training, the method is so wonderful that you're going to help somebody no matter what. The tools that I have are just going to help them to get there faster. So the method itself is wonderful. With that said, before we start strength training, we work the mobility. We try to bring that range of motion back, because if we can get that early on, they're going to most of the time get that full range of motion back that they lose from surgery.
Right.
And sadly, there are a number of, I would say the majority of the women that come through our program do not get physical therapy. And I don't understand that from a medical perspective. To me, it's no questions asked. I would love for them to go through physical therapy and then come to me. But 9 times out of 10, it's not prescribed. Now, most of the time, a medical doctor will, or their oncologist, whoever they're working with at the time, will write them a prescription if they ask for it. But most of them don't just hand that out, and I just don't understand that. So we are not physical therapists. I do have a physical therapist who teaches for the project, but in general, we're Pilates teachers. So we work on bringing that mobility back, and then we start the strength training. We actually try to work endurance a little bit. So we throw other things in there to try to bring back full body health. And separately, which was never a part of what I thought would happen initially, was that emotionally they come in. Some are totally fine. Some are not. And it's so nice to get out and do something for your body that's outside of a medical setting. Really, it's pretty special.
And Pilates is a body-mind workout.
Yes.
So everything is interconnected there.
Right.
And then, Tanja, so one of the reasons that kind of when we learn about Core Compassion Project and you, because this year we started working with an organization called the Jordan Thomas Foundation, and then every pair of socks that we sell, a percentage goes to this organization to contribute to give prosthetics to kids, especially kids that don't have it. Prosthetics are actually sometimes they're not covered by the insurance or not everything, and then especially kids as they grow, they have to change prosthetics as they change shoes. And then, so for us, this has also been a new world. But what we have seen with another client that we have that has also double prosthetics is like Pilates helps amazingly, like in an amazing way. And then, so you have had like two challenges, but at the same time, I think Pilates has targeted two different issues at once, right? Because it's not only your mobility from the upper body, but it's also your mobility and how to train the muscles of your legs. So from your experience, how long did you have the prosthetics before starting the Pilates project?
I had my prosthetics. Well, this happened in 2012. And 2013, I started walking. So let's see, 2013. I think it was 2016, maybe 17, 16, when I started working with Pilates. And being able to they had to do my fingers. So they were working with my arms and everything, my legs. I had to learn how to lift myself up, and, I had to learn how to transfer from the bed to the chair, from the chair to the car, from the car back to a chair, so you have to do a lot of upper body. So I was kind of strong in my upper body, but my legs were, took a little longer because of the prosthetics. And once I started doing Pilates, it's kind of helped strengthen everything. Just kind of kept it together. So it really wasn't a hard transition. But when I started doing it, I was like, okay, this is going to be better. This is going to help out a whole lot, especially across my chest, because I chose to have reconstruction on the right side where the breast cancer was. And, it was tight in there in the beginning, but once we started working and loosening it up, then it got better. Because I really did at the beginning, when I had the prosthetics, I never thought about breast cancer or anything like that, But then to be a part of it, then for it to happen, and the way that it happened, it's like it wasn't even 2 years, it was 18 months maybe when I was diagnosed, and so we didn't have a second opinion. Me and my husband were like, we're just gonna go and take care of it because there's no second opinion needed. It's all, breast cancer. So with us going to that and then having to do the Pilates, it just kind of gave me a peace of mind. The ladies were real helpful. Whatever we needed to do, we did it, and it was a plus. And I did it. Like I said, we have, whew, we've been together for a while, and I want to say about 2 or 3 years. And it's just been, just a joy to me to work with these ladies that, at Compassionmatrazer, because they really help, And, I just look at it like, we just keep pushing and, be able to show people that, you don't have to, you don't have an excuse not to move. You don't have an excuse not to want to work out. Even if it's something, I've met a lot of people, and they ask me, prosthetic wise, well, how is it that you're able to walk? And I said, because I choose to. And I don't say it in a meaning to trying to be funny, but I say it because when you have your leg and you're sitting in a wheelchair, and you refuse to put your leg on, you really ain't going to be able to stand up. But if you put your leg on and get up and try to at least stand up, you should be okay. But a lot of people feel like, I fall one time, I ain't trying it no more. I fell and left myself plenty of times. I done fell out my wheelchair. I done fell with my legs on. I done tripped and fell with my legs off. And it's just part, you fall, it's just part of life. But a lot of people, they get to a point in their lives where they see no need that, well, I'm old. I don't need to be in prosthetics. I need to be in a wheelchair. No, if you choose for your life to be lived from a wheelchair, then that's what you're gonna have. But how you gonna drive anywhere? You gotta sit and wait on everybody. Well, see, I'm different. I went through that phase of having to wait on somebody to take me places. I was like, I got to get up from here. I had to be able to, I had to be able to drive around when I'm ready. And so that's what I do. But I've been with Compassion for about 2-3 years
Wow.
now. I'm sorry I said all that, but
No,
yeah.
I mean, thank you so much for your wisdom.
Yeah.
Like, here is an opportunity for us to learn, because we take everything for granted. We complain about this and that. We make excuses. We procrastinate about taking care of our bodies, right? And then so definitely, I mean, you are a motivation and inspiration for many, and I'm just so honored to have this opportunity to chat with you too. And then, so Jill, if anyone knows someone that goes through breast cancer, or knows someone, etc., want to apply for the Core Compassion Project, what do they need to do? Are there any limitations, or is it specific to target, like a specific target that you guys are looking for?
So if someone wants, you can qualify for our program if you have breast cancer. The challenge, I'm not going to call it a problem, the challenge we're facing right now is we are getting applications from all over the country, and we don't have teachers prepared all over the country. And as a nonprofit, we have to know they're properly prepared before we send money to them for this, as for a scholarship. So right when COVID hit last year, we had planned a launch for our affiliate program, which we still moved forward with, but it's been a little bit slow. Like right now, we have a teacher in Colorado who is an affiliate. We have an affiliate an hour from me, but we're slowly bringing in teachers. So if you are a Pilates teacher, meaning you are a certified Pilates teacher, and you want to become an affiliate and bring Core Compassion Project to your area, we would love to talk to you. The requirement is that you either go through my program, or there's another program that is excellent. It is, we call it SETI. It's the Cancer Exercise Training Institute. And then we know that you're going to be ready to take somebody on through our project if you have one of those trainings. But you do have to be a certified Pilates teacher. So with that said, we're looking for affiliates. And then if you have breast cancer, or you know someone who has breast cancer, and we're not able to, you want to get involved with us, but we don't have anyone right now to teach in your area, if you reach out to us, we will mail you a copy of our book and a flex band free of charge. And that gives you an at-home program that you can do on your own. So we're working. We're just experiencing some growing pains with now trying to expand other places, because we actually have more people who want this than we have teachers available. It's really frustrating.
So basically, you are looking at this moment for Pilates instructors, certified Pilates instructors that will go through one of the two programs that you mentioned, and then become ready to accept clients or new patients, recipients, scholars. And okay, so we will help to kind of spread the word. And then if anyone that is watching this or will watch this in the future would like to help, how can we help you to expand?
So, well, you know, I'm just going to put this out there. It takes money to run a nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we were hit hard with COVID. Our fundraiser that normally we have, our Girls Night Out fundraiser is our biggest fundraiser, and it usually brings in $30,000 a year. And that's how we fund these scholarships and the programs. We were not able to have it at all last year. And we are trying to figure out how it's going to happen this year, but we're working on that. So if anybody ever wants to donate, you can do that on our website, and no donation is too small. Every bit of it helps. The other thing is, in October, I have another fundraiser, and it's called Compassionmatrazer. And this is a super cool opportunity for our community, because teachers basically host a class, and you don't have to be a Pilates teacher. You can be any kind of fitness teacher. And you host a class, and then whatever people give to that class is donated to the project. And we've done really well with that. I think, don't hold me to this, but I'm pretty sure it was like 6,000 or 7,000 we raised last year for that. And that was just good people like you stepping out and saying, hey, we're going to, and then like I was receiving checks from teachers who I didn't even, you know, never signed up to host a class. And so it was so humbling and exciting for me. And it shows that this project is so much bigger than me. It's so much bigger than Tanja. It's so much bigger than our board of directors. And we have over 100 volunteers. You know, so it's not just this small little thing anymore. And we're just trying to move forward with it. So helping us spread the word, tell people about our programs, tell people about our bra programs. I mean, we have a budget for that. The lymphedema sleeve program, completely free to those battling breast cancer. The fitness bra program, completely free. And the reason we tied that in is we had women coming into the studio, they could never find a bra that they were comfortable working out in, you know, and so we have partnered with a company, Ana Ono, and they make sports bras for women with breast cancer. And then we have partnered with Lymph Divas, and they are providing the sleeves. And so it's just so special. And, you know, we're just now getting the word. They're new programs, like literally within the last 2 months. So we're just getting the word out there. And until I can build this affiliate program, we're just going to be a little bit slow there. We know that it's just going to take a little while. And, you know, COVID set us back a little bit, but we're ready to move forward now. So.
Wow. Thank you so much for that clear explanation. And I think we all know now what we want to do. If we want to donate, we go to your website. Is there an option to donate there on your website?
Yes.
Okay. So
and I'm sorry, I was just going to say.
No, I was going to say, so we can do it either directly on the website or major aspect. Okay. And then if for a Pilates instructor, they go to your website and apply to be part of the program?
So my next workshop date is in September. I don't have that in front of me. I'll post that on that. They would go to Jill. So my workshops are separate from the project. It's at jillhenson.com. The date for September is not on there yet. It is coming, but I do have a date set for September, and I think it might be the second week. I'll check that, but I'll be posting about that soon. So if they want to follow my personal account, it's at Jill_Henson. And then Core Compassion Project is at Core Compassion Project.
Wow, Jill, this is beautiful. And then I have two questions that I ask everyone, or well, now became free after talking to so many people. So the first one is, and it's for both of you. What's who has been your inspiration? Like, we don't, even if wherever we go through life, you know, positive, not so positive, there is always someone inspiring us or motivating us. So who has been that person for you, Tanja? Let's start with Tanja.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I would say Mm, it's hard to
It's a
say
tough question. I
because
know.
it just you know, I have always had a desire to help people. I always have. So I really don't have like a person per
I would
se,
say Tanja's
but
family is amazing. Tanja's family inspires
yeah, I was
me.
gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say, it's not just one person. I mean, I have a support system like no other. I mean, they have been like, they cry in silence and by themselves. But whenever I'm going through something or whenever they see me, once upon a time, I had those family members that were really hurt about everything that was going on. Bad things happen to good people, and I try to be good to everybody, but my family was like, you know what? We can't walk around and cry in front of her. We'll cry later, but right now we're going to hold her hand and walk beside her. And so my family is just, they rock.
Right.
So that's why I say it wouldn't be 1% person. And my sons and my husband, I mean, if I had to go somewhere, they were like, we're in the car, and when I had to be in the wheelchair for a while, they were they would push me like it was the Indy 500 and they was racing, and I had to hold on because they had to get used to pushing the wheelchair. But other than that, when I came home, they had done already built a ramp, my family had, and they made modifications in the house where, they moved the tables over. And I mean, they just mean a lot. Just my family just means a lot to me, you know.
Well, that's
So
amazing, and it's a
yeah.
blessing, right? That you're surrounded,
Yes,
and
yes.
I guess it's part of what you have built, right?
Mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They it's good. And then, in turn they say I inspire them because I push no matter how hard I want to push. My mom and I were walking the other day, and her, and my sister, as a matter of fact, we were walking in the grocery store, and she said I was out walking her in the grocery store. And I mean, I didn't have time to push the buggy. I'd be all over the store, And so, you see the people riding around on the little carts, and I just can't do it. I try not to do it because, I see an older woman that's walking and she's barely getting around, and I'm sitting on it riding. I feel funny because, I know it's for people who maybe have handicap, but I don't consider myself handicapped. I consider myself as someone who has a little bit of a limit, but is willing to do what she got to do to get to whatever limit I need to be at.
Yeah.
So,
And thank you for
so
sharing that.
yeah,
I think it's
yeah.
such a big motivation. Jill, what about you?
Well, I mean, first of all, Tanja is an obvious,
Listen at
inspiration.
you. Oh my gosh.
And, I think that different people have inspired me in different seasons of my life. And when I started this project, I only knew personally one person who had had cancer, and I was a kid, and it was my grandmother. And
Hmm.
what's interesting is after starting the project, within a couple of years, my mom was diagnosed with colon cancer. Then my 3-year-old
Mm.
nephew was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And now my dad is battling stage 4 lung cancer. And so it's a lot of cancer. And it's pushed me to put my energy into the, I had to do something like this. It was just breaking my heart. And so I just poured into this project. And so I would say that right now in this moment, my father is really my inspiration. He has an attitude like Tanja's. And I always think to myself, and maybe I shouldn't admit this. I feel like I would be a baby, I am so inspired by their attitude. And my dad says to me, you know, and he's doing really well right now. But he says it's all in your attitude. He said, and I really and truly, I have witnessed it with Tanja, my father, other people, the family, you know, my brother and sister-in-law, with my little nephew. Like, it's all in how you decide to move forward with it. And I would just pray that I would have that kind of strength, because it really, really amazes me. So yeah, at this time in my life, I would say it's definitely my daddy.
Yeah. Wow. That's also an amazing story, and it's amazing how life works, no? Like, working on cancer came out of, you know, like really a particular place, and then now you are able to support so many people around.
Yeah. I mean, I believe we should all find a way to give back. If your calling is not Core Compassion Project, find somewhere to give back. People need to be loved right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I make it my business to be out and about. And I walk around. I live in Wadesboro, North Carolina, which is a small town below Charlotte, way below Charlotte. But anyway, we stay probably an hour or so change away from Charlotte. But whenever I'm out and I walk around, some people would say, well, we didn't even know she was an amputee until she pulled her pants leg up. Or when I walk around with shorts on and people be, look, you know, and some people get bold enough to ask questions. And I just go and tell them, because the first thing out of their mouth is, I don't mean to bother you, but do you mind? No, I don't mind anything. I'll just tell you what's going on. And when you tell them, they stand there like, oh, okay. Because their first thought is, oh, she's diabetic. No. Kidney stone, you know, and it poisons my system. So when I tell them a kidney stone, they really be like, wow. And, you know, and one of the things, the biggest thing I can remember, you know, is mind over matter. Whatever is in your mind does matter. Because if you put that you can't do something in your mind, then you won't do it. But if you say you can in your mind, then you can do it. So it's mind over matter. That's the way I see it. So that's why I treat life, you know. I don't think I can jump over that fence. I can't jump over, but I can definitely go around it.
That's all right.
Yeah, that's amazing. They going around things, right? And yeah.
You find a way around it. It might take you a minute to say, it may take longer, but I'm going to get over there. And that's what you do.
Wow. Well, ladies, this has been so inspiring. And actually, I've been doing this fireside chats for almost a year. This is the last fireside chat. And then I'm going to take a break for a month. I'm traveling. So it's the last fire, but it has been, you know, week over week. Since basically COVID started. And then I have learned so many lessons, but I think this is one of the most inspiring fireside chats. And it's perfect to close this kind of season for Talkets and fireside chats. We will be starting again probably in July. And then I'm just so grateful to have this opportunity, and for you too to accept our invitation. And then at Talkits, we're going to also discuss ways that we can contribute as well with
Thank you.
with both of you, like your projects. And
thank you so much.
Yeah, even, you know, little by little we help each other.
Yes, and thank you for the invite. Really, thank you for reaching out to us.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. We appreciate that so much.
No, this is great. And then Tanja, I believe you have received some Talkets. And
I did.
Because one of the curious and nice coincidence of life, you know, it's like our socks are designed with like the toe separation, right? one of the things I have noticed is like they fit perfectly prosthetic foot. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that you're able to use them.
Yeah.
I am. I put it with, I can. They have a toe they separated the toe so I can wear like the thong sandals.
Right,
So I put the socks
right.
right on. I had no problem walking
You
around,
can
spinning
bring
around
some
in them.
colors
My
in them.
husband said, "Don't
Yeah,
fall."
add some colors
Yeah,
to your,
I told him. I
yeah,
said,
something else to your feet. Yeah. Well,
"Yeah,
I give you
right,
both a big
right."
hug.
Big hug. Love you, Tanja.
Because
Thank you so much.
Thank
And to
you.
all of our
thank
viewers,
you.
thank you so much for being with us. I will be back in the month of July. I will be traveling to Tanzania.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm going to
Okay.
climb Kilimanjaro, and I'll also
Oh,
do a
wow.
project with the Maasai community in a very specific town
Okay.
of empowering women through entrepreneurship. So that's going to be very
Okay.
exciting. And then, yeah, I look forward to seeing you all again in July. And then
All
let's do
right.
something that gives back.
That's right. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thank
That's
you.
right. Thank
Thank
you
Bye
so
you.
bye.
much.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye bye bye.